That's where Steve Jobs comes in. While Wozniak was the engineer behind the computers, Steve Jobs was the marketer. He was one of the first people in the world to realize that technology was not just a tool, but it could also form a personal connection with the user.
You can have many views of what a computer is. My particular view is that a computer is a new medium.
He knew just how to make something look nice, and he also knew how to sell it to people. So they fit all of this junk into a sleek, simple, friendly casing that made the computer very inviting to general consumers. And with the new design, it was clear they had no problem selling it to people because the Apple II was released in 1977, and by the end of its production life, it had sold 6 million units. Apple was now worth approximately $2 billion, which was a lot of money at the time, but that's still pretty far from what we know it as today. Due to the success, it was time for the company to kick into high gear. New management came in, and on December 12, 1980, Apple was put onto the public stock market, selling 4.6 million shares at $22 per share. By the end of the day, it's said that 300 millionaires were created with all of the people who owned these shares of Apple at the time. And things only went up from here. Just kidding. Soon after, they released the Apple III, and it was famous for being unreliable and buggy. Then they released the Lisa, which was the very first computer with a graphical user interface, just like the one you're using right now. Pretty cool, right? Apparently not. They didn't really make any good apps for it, and the computer itself was super expensive, so nobody bought it. Plus, while they were busy making Lisa, they kicked Steve Jobs off the team due to intercompany fighting. This thing sucks. I'm just gonna make the same thing, but better. And so he did. He literally said that and went on to make one of the most successful computers of all time. A computer you might know, the Macintosh. It was basically the Lisa, a computer that had a graphical user interface, or GUI for short. But this time, it was cheaper. They premiered an ad for it during the Super Bowl, and everyone called it the greatest ad of all time. And sales boomed, but then they tapered off because the reviews came out. The Macintosh still kinda sucked. It was slow, couldn't really do much, and people thought it was super expensive. And this made Steve Jobs angry. Remember when I said that new management came in? Well, one of those guys was from Pepsi, John Scully. And because of the Macintosh's criticisms, John and Steve started arguing. Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life, or come with me and change the world? Just get out of here. And so Steve was taken out of the position as head of Macintosh. You want me to leave? Well, I'm leaving. And by the way, the other Steve is gone too. And so Steve Jobs left to do some other stuff with this little old company called Next. Wow, look at these computers, man. They can make 3D animations? Nobody's ever seen this before. Wow, you could probably make something cool with this kind of technology. Oh my gosh. Toy Story? That's amazing. Let's check back at Apple and see what's happening without Steve Jobs and Wozniak. Oh, okay. The Macintosh 512K. Little bit of a weird name.